So let's head back in here. Welcome everyone to another episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? The game where the tracks don't matter and the drifts are made up. So let's quickly look through this fantastic intro that this game has to offer. I hope you're all ready for some insane... Well, you'll see in a second. I'm gonna skip halfway through this. Welcome to Densha Climax stage. I just noticed something when I was like starting that. The first two trains that you saw, they are different every time you get into that intro. I never knew about this. Anyway, let's skip this. And here, the main
This
menu.
never happened before.
This never happened before. I never paid attention to that. So yeah, with me is Higachi helping out with commentary on this fantastic game. And we have the proper setup, just making sure that we have... Okay, fog is disabled, that's good. Alright. So, I'll just count you down and then timing will start when I'll say go. And once we are there, well yeah, alright. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. And off we are. You'll hear me match the brakes intensely. So this is a small bug that we'll explain in a bit. I gotta quickly get over here. Alright. So, Densha Climax stage. Higachi, can you tell a bit about the game?
Sure, this game got released in 2012 by Yinushi. And it's a third game in the series, and it's the sequel of Burning Stage. And this game has, as you already said, a cool function, which this brake speed acceleration glitch or whatever. We don't have a really name for it. And you maybe know it is about trains, and it is very familiar to Initial D, because this is actually a parody of Initial D, and just with trains. And as we figured out, this year is the 20th anniversary of Densha DD, and he already won the first race.
Yeah, that's a bit too fast. We can talk about the first race once we're into the second one. Sorry to cut you off, but the next one that's coming up has like a small glitch that I quickly want to explain over here.
Go ahead, man.
It's a way faster run than anticipated. We have enough time during the fourth race to talk about everything, so don't worry. Or fifth one, I guess. Alright. So, coming up here is me using the same glitch again, with like getting all full speed. Now I need to hit my card into his and derail anything past my first card, and now I can let go of this and I'll just have to wait. So what I did there is I purposefully derailed every card besides the first to slow down our opponent, which in this case is Wataru Akiyama, and we're driving as Kaisuke Takahashi. This is so later on in the stage we actually have a nice glitch coming up. And we'll see if that worked once I see a cutscene come up. You're being intensified. The soundtrack in this game is fantastic. So, let me see if the cutscene came up, and then we can talk about the first stage and the race that you saw but were like missing. Oh, oops, I don't want to do that. Okay, perfect, got the cutscene. So you can continue with talking about the first race in that case.
Okay, let's talk about the first race that we already skipped. Yeah, we were racing as Takumi Fujiwara, and we were racing against Wataru. And for some train nerds, Takumi is driving the 2000 series, which is basically the same thing as the AE86 for Initial D, and Wataru is driving a 2800 series train. But yeah, we were using the gas brake glitch that we use, and this you will see that if he spams emergency brake and normal brake at around 120 kilometers per hour, he gets an insane speed boost, way faster acceleration. And yeah, the main thing about the first stage is we just have to get as far as ahead as we can to win, which he did. Yeah, which he did so fast that I couldn't even explain the game. So insane fast game. So this is the second race, and as he already said, we are driving as Kaisuke. And Kaisuke is having and using the 8200 series train. If you want to know all of these cool trains, just Google them. And yeah, what else do we have to get here?
Pretty much. So upcoming to the voice line or like the small dialogue that was coming up. You see me after the corners. I like use a rear wheel drift and my speed goes up, and when I exit it, I get like a small speed boost for a while. I was not supposed to do that up until that cutscene came up, otherwise he would catch up way quicker, and this glitch wouldn't work. That's coming up in a bit. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Oh, the first one, did you mention that we also use this like rear wheel trick or rear wheel drift trick after the corners to get some extra speed boost? So it's like, that's mainly so we can finish the stage quicker. The first race you finish once you're too far away from your opponent. And since we're like super fast there, whee!
Yeah, normally the first stage is like 5 to 10 minutes long, but
if you drive
with
it
this
normally.
trick, yeah, if you drive it normally, but with these tricks, you can get so far ahead that you easily win within a minute or a minute and a half.
So coming up here, we're gonna be seeing no cutscene from him if I did everything correctly. Perfect. And we'll just see our train getting to the finish line. And what this will cause is the stage to be finished, obviously. But it's not this stage that we finished. For some weird reason, not getting the cutscene there finishes the stage after and unlocks the one after. So I haven't finished this one, I've cleared this one, I can't play this one, but I unlocked the fourth race. We're effectively skipping the third race, cutting the run down by like, I think 20 minutes. So yeah, that's no third race. But now we have the fourth race. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So in this race, we have Takumi Fujiwara versus Kai Kogashiba, and Kai is actually driving a Junior 2000 GT, which is a gas turbine train, and we will see a special effect of this one later on. And as in the beginning, we are using obviously the gas brake glitch again to get to the faster max speed. And as far as we are getting ahead, we are always using the end rear wheel drift to gain more massive speed after turns, because this is the only way to gain speed. Sadly,
Oh, we got moved.
in the yeah, we got moved, that's so fine. Since in lightning stage, multi-track drifting actually gives you speed, since the second game, burning stage, it doesn't give you anything anymore. So basically multi-track drifting is useless in terms of gaining speed. But as we figured out, the rarer drift is actually giving you more speed if you're exiting some corners.
Pretty interesting glitch, or like trick, because it's not effectively a glitch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and because of this trick, we will see that multiple cutscenes will overlapping at some point, and maybe you wanted to explain something now.
Alright, so
This
basically
beautiful
he's like talking about, oh okay, I'm like a bit behind, and now he's gonna hit something about KO, being like I have to hit him with my like final blast or something like that, which is a bit weird because it's not really a final one. I sadly don't speak Japanese, so I can't really read anything of this. But yeah, we basically see his gas turbine getting well, spun up, then him getting a massive speed boost from that. So there's that. Other than that, yeah, you already mentioned the overlapping cutscenes, which will be coming up in a second, actually. Also another thing, as you mentioned, we had a song that wasn't usually in the game before, in the first stage. And there's two more that are coming up. Maybe you will recognize them. The last one I added like last minute pretty much, yesterday or 2 days ago, due to the fact that the song itself is like causing some copyright stuff. So this is one part where it like wanted to play one cutscene, but then it played another one. So the result of this is that we won't be seeing them going into slow-mo for his gas turbine train. So this is the part where we are supposed to check on his train from the left side, like from the station. And well, yeah, due to like it ending the cutscene early, we're now over here. Also need to make sure that I like switch camera views. I know. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So we're like up ahead here.
So yeah, the special thing about the Kai's train is, what do you think is cool if you have like a jet engine?
That's not even the thing about that, really. That's...
I mean, it just gives it away, but it has a special effect though.
Well, the only special effect is that it's like a reference to this race in Initial D, but like taken to the extreme. Once it happens, you'll see what we mean by that. The thing is, there's like a 2-minute section with like nothing happening if I go fast. I can slow down so we get the cutscene, but I don't know the timing anymore, so I'm just like, oh, let's go fast. So if there's any donations that are coming in during that time, that will be the perfect time to like, take some out, in case there's a need for that. I saw there's one donation already that came in, so I assume that might be worth reading out at the very least. Yeah, I'll be mentioning that once it's coming up.
Definitely. Other than that, you see that Kai is basically a puppet.
That's not Kai.
So... What am I talking about?
What were their names again? I'm like...
Names, dude.
Hit up the website! We have a website for that!
Exactly! We have Densha.org! You can really visit it to get information about Densha the D! Woo!
Okay, so upcoming here there might be a black box. No black box! Okay, this is the run. Oh, not really, but there's like, at that point I need to end the multi-track drifting. Also here I need to brake for a bit, otherwise I derail, and we don't want to derail because that's slow. Is it still under construction? Yes, the website is still under construction, mainly due to the fact that we don't have anyone that can translate the Japanese text. Then it's a real website? Alright, nice. Also, we're just gonna...
So
yeah,
the name is Seiji, by the way.
Seiji, okay. Alright, just weird flex once more. And upcoming is the part where the donation could be read out, or donations, in case there are more. Because why wouldn't you donate at a fantastic run, such as Densha DD, Climax stage, also known as Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because of all the things.
Because there are no lines now.
There's now, yeah.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
By the way, we did get a donation.
Nice.
We got a $20 donation from Speedy who says, I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know which comes first.
Nice.
Good one.
Thank you, Speedy. Alright, I'll pop back out.
Alright. So yeah. So usually in this part also we'll see him rubber band, so he's like back on our tail now. Usually in here is like cutscenes happening, being like talking about something stupid and like funny because again it's like a parody manga that has been going on ever since like Initial D first started as a manga series as well. This is not based off the anime, this is based off the manga, which like I expected it to like have started somewhere around the 2000s, but no, it was like shortly after the Initial D in general, from what I heard.
So yeah, Initial D, the manga started in 1998, and Densha the D manga started in 1999. So
yeah.
1 year later, the original founder of the of the manga actually started it.
It's like
that's why it's the 20th anniversary.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're like in this turn, and then there's another one coming up, and then we have that specific section. So, what do you expect this train would be able to do? Also nice music coming up.
Win?
Yes. If you say, or if you guessed flying, you would be correct. Also maybe this song sounds familiar. Crazy Train. Those are crazy trains. Also, big shoutouts to Turbo, who has done this remix of it. We have another one coming up from him later on, that we already showed off at a different marathon that happened a while ago, in a different game, but still, it's a good song. Like what I mentioned, it's like the original song is a bit copyright-ish. Alright. Yeah. Enjoy this. This is pretty much the last we've seen of Kai now. I need to match drift to the right, so we don't derail here. Okay.
This is the best fact about this game. When I started it playing the first time as casual, and I saw there's just like Kai flying away. I'm like, what? How can you fly? How do you do that? You just get tracked overboard, man. You're like, what the hell? Nani? Why can't he fly? And he just flies away twice, and you can't even catch up anymore. Like, wow.
There you go. Yeah, this is pretty much the last, as I said, we've seen of him. He's gone now, never to be seen again. And we're pretty much done with this stage. There's like
last
nothing
objective
much.
here is just to win.
Yeah. There's one part that's coming up that could mess with me massively. That's a nice rhyme. So I have to be careful once that's coming up, but that's in like, I think 2 minutes. People keep saying that this is something along the lines of an auto-scroller. Most of the time it is, but you have to be careful in certain corners due to the fact that you can derail. And there are how many states that the train can be in? Like at the top you see the cards indicated by 1 to 8 with small card symbols and colors around them. Do you know what the colors are about?
I know.
You know
Does Chat know?
I don't know.
No, Chat maybe figured it out, but I'll explain to you. The blue state means the cards are multi-track drifting. Green is basically the card is stable, so nothing is happening. And then if it starts getting like smallly derailed, it turns into orange. And if it's heavily derailing, it's red. And if you derail a card, it gets dark red. And that means you lose your cards that we used in the first stage to actually win. Or was it second? Second.
It was the second race.
Everywhere, basically.
Wherever possible.
Yeah. And sometimes the trains have funky effects like flying away or something like that. I don't know if that's actually...
Also, you have to be careful in these turns because your train can just suddenly, like, get derailed because it's getting too far apart from its front and back. Very nice. Yeah, the best trick to get around those corners is just to like alternate between acceleration and the emergency on normal brake. So you saw like the train was pretty stable there when I was like doing that. That's pretty much that. Also, a fun thing that can happen here sometimes is just that all of a sudden the cards just spin out and you get self-propelled. So it's... Did you mention self-propelled impossibility already? I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention right now.
Well, then
so
explain.
we talked about dark red color in terms of stability of the train. It doesn't really matter which one is dark red, but if the first card is getting in a dark red stage, that's called self-propelled impossibility. That means you just can't drive anymore. And fun fact about this game is, if you let the opponent get self-propelled impossibility, you lose. Even though he lost. So...
Okay, so this is a part where like the second card has derailed heavily, so that's fine. We're still on track. Yeah, I needed to switch back to normal, otherwise the card would just like get into that pillar, like drive into that pillar, and we would need to do this entire thing again because there are no checkpoints in this game. Interestingly enough,
fun.
Yeah, mention the fun fact. It's so stupid.
Yeah, the fun fact is, all games do not have save states besides Burning Stage, and Burning Stage only in 2 stages.
Yeah, it's super weird.
It's weird. I don't know why you thought it's a fun idea.
Okay, so something else I need to mention here, which I have in my notes, luckily, is due to having done that glitch in the second race, I now need to restart my game. Otherwise, we just get a crash on this race. It always happens. It's at some point I was like, wait, this is weird. Why am I getting a crash like out of nowhere, right? And I was like, could it be because I'm like doing that weird glitch where I just skip one entire race and the game just doesn't know what to do? So yeah, basically that, and now we're just starting the game again. Getting into the last race.
Exactly. The story behind the next race is pretty simple. If you watched Initial D, that is basically the situation that Natsuki is getting kidnapped.
Movie, I think.
Is it?
I think
yeah,
so.
Yeah, can be, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so...
it's basically the scene that Natsuki Takumi's girlfriend is getting kidnapped by Miki, and we are just basically playing the chase here.
So yeah.
You want to mention what you did there?
I went full speed, and then I derailed every card besides the first. Hey, we know that trick from somewhere. This is basically...
Is there a main reason why you do that?
Yes, it will be used later on. Right now, I'm still able to like do the multi-track drifting everywhere, but I'll explain it once we get to that part, whereas like corners I can't really easily take. Other than that, this is pretty much just driving to pretty specific points and then slowing down, turning around, driving to another point. It's like we do that 2 times, I think? 3 times? It's the longest stage in this game for sure.
So this is also, I think, the first game that introduced that you had to actually stop at stations to turn around. So, yeah.
That's in the 4th game as well, where you need to slow down in the last race actually, and then turn around because it's like uphill and downhill from what I know, or from what I remember at the very least.
So you're probably wondering, oh, these games are so easy, they're so short. They're actually not. If you like compare the first game, where one stage is just 5 minutes long at max, or 6 minutes. If you go then to the later games, where in Rising stage, one single stage is 45 minutes long, and what we did not mention, if you did not hit certain triggers during the stages, you can't win. If you do not hit the trigger, a certain flag is not set, and you have to hit every single flag at the perfect point. Otherwise, you are not able to win, even though you are going first into the goal.
Which seems a bit stupid, though, like in my opinion. But I really don't know why he implemented it that way, with like the clear flags. I do hope that that's not the case for Shining State, because so far I'm not really interested in trying out any further exploits, bugs or whatever in Rising Stage, or trying to find some at the very least. Because
what we did not mention so far is there are actually 4 full game releases, which includes Lightning Stage, Burning Stage, Climax Stage, what you're seeing here, and Rising Stage, which is the newest one, and the 5th, which is currently in development. But as far as we know, Inushi, the creator of the video game of the series, is releasing the game in December this year. Shining Stage, the 5th game, which he is then using he programmed in Unity, in new game engine, and we're stopping here right now to turn around. Otherwise we would be driving right through this stop there. Would be bad.
Yep. And that's a self-propelled impossibility otherwise. I have to be careful coming up here. This is the first time I'll be using this specific glitch as to why I have only 1 card. There's a pillar in the middle of like the bridge that's coming up in a bit. And if we hit that, we're self-propelled. I'm not sure if it was with every single one. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically just holding acceleration and mashing the brakes. As you can see on my speed, I'm sticking to 160 or like around 160. So this only works with like, how many cards was it? I think 4 cards or less.
Yeah.
So if you have more than that, well, it's, yeah, if you have more than that, it's like, it's not properly slowing that down. Okay, so, or rather it is slowing you down too much, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, next one coming up, this is the last one, by the way. Last turnaround point.
Right now, let's go and rescue Natsuki.
With a nice song coming up. Which, once again, was made by Turbo. Once we are at that point. It's gonna be like another 1.5 minutes or 2. As I said, this is the longest one in this game. Purely, also very annoyingly, that we don't have any save states here. Or like checkpoints or whatever. Because if I fail anything past this point, also that part coming up, nice. There's a bunch where I have to do this now, and you'll hear a bunch of braking and braking noises, so I'm sorry for that. But it do be like that. No, basically super annoying, because you could have easily had like a checkpoint at the part that's coming up as like the halfway point of this, right? I don't know why he didn't continue using that system.
I mean, we could ask him. I mean, we're in contact with Yunushi, so the concept with save states is actually pretty cool. If you like, because if you have like stages that are 20-30 minutes long and you just fail something, you can just start from a specific save point on and have another shot. This other than just playing 20 minutes again.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to remember how many turns are still left. That's the left turn that I don't need to break them. Yeah, it's like, it's super weird as to why this tunnel section is this long. I don't know why.
What we didn't mention is that in the later games, he actually took the actual accurate path, so the real kilometers of the tracks. So in the last stage, in Rising Stage, is 45 minutes or something like that long.
It's like
it is that long
kilometers.
because, yeah, it is 140 kilometers in game as well. So that's why it takes 45 minutes to actually do this track.
Yep.
He's going for real distances. What we didn't mention
the
yet
last one.
The first 4 games are in his own made engine. And the 5th game he's going to use Unity, which probably lets us mod the game better.
Hopefully. So coming up here is like, yeah, we're doing a stop. Definitely getting some extra parts for the first train. And now, we immediately switch over here and we have a nice song. To get around the copyright, hopefully.
And it's a remix, right?
Yeah, this is another remix by Turbo. Which I think is quite fitting.
Specially made?
Yeah, that's the one he specifically, like he made specifically for us for the Burning Stage run at ESA. That was really cool of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, technically, we can mod a whole bunch on these games already if we know which files to replace and whatnot.
Yeah, big shout out to Yunushi for helping us a lot.
Yeah, that too.
So there's a, as I figured out, we have a Densha.dd Discord, so if you want to get a hand on Densha.dd or anything like that, just visit Densha.org. There are links to get your hand on a digital copy of the game. Since originally that was only in physical terms to get this game at Comic-Cat in Japan. And I think Dustin asked if he could sell it via PayPal, and at one point he actually made it public for the Western people, so we can get a digital copy via PayPal on some DL site website.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a hand on all the games, visit Densha.org, get a link, and join the Discord if you want more information about how to get the game running and stuff. It's not easy to get it running.
So basically you either need to have Japanese locals installed or have something like local emulator, which we are mostly using for the runs as well. Like there's no need to have the full local set, because I think you also need to have the local enabled in Windows.
Oh yeah. And the Densha Discord actually showed that you can actually heavily mod Densha.dd, various games of them. There's a big modding scene, I guess, in Japan that I didn't know before, but some of the in the community actually mod the game very hard with certain different trains for all these trains and stuff.
Really?
Oh. Yeah.
I didn't pay too much
I didn't know that
to
as well, but there are a few Japanese people that actually mod the game very hard. And it's super popular in Japan actually.
I mean, train games in general seem to be pretty popular in Japan, so there's that.
Sick music. So the thing is with translating the game, it is not easy to translate Japanese with like Google Translate or anything like that, because so many characters have different meanings and stuff. It's so crazy. Japanese is very difficult to translate because it has a lot of I think the manga thing has a lot of train specific vocabulary. It's not so easy to translate. With a few people trying to translate it, but without the knowledge what actual initial D and then the D in the trains is, it's pretty difficult to translate. And fun fact, the Densha DD website, all the Japanese text is actually written by Yinushi because I asked him to, and he was so kind to actually do it. Remind me to never ride a train with Lordmau5. I mean, you will always be on time.
Yeah, unlike Deutsche Bahn.
Or other batch trains.
Oh, the stage is so long.
Yeah, it is. And the bad thing is, we know what like roughly happens, but we can't read Japanese, so there's no translation for it. So it's like actually say what is currently happening.
It's still fun to try and enjoy whatever they're saying, interpreting your own story into it pretty much.
But what I noticed is there's always the same scene of Natsuki popping up.
That's because this is like just taken from the manga. Like the screen caps are taken from scans from of the manga and then just animated a bit. Because obviously there's like no full anime for this yet. Sadly. I wish there was. It could be quite fun. My leg's starting to fall asleep. No? Not good. It's not like I do need to do much, but you know. Still uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that multi-track meme template thing that you all guys post in chat is from the first game actually, from Lightning Stage, and from the first few volumes of Densha DD manga.
Yeah, that's the first volume actually. I think even the very first chapter. Also, time coming up in a bit. Just mentioning that. There's like a section where I need to hit his train. And I'll try to do that once I'm like right out of the slow motion part. Otherwise we'll just have the train go in slow motion and that's like not good. And time, we'll just end time once I hit his train. It's a bit difficult to time it where the auto splitter does it. I think hitting is the best there. Okay. So as I said, coming up. We should be ready for switching camera angles for this. There's the train. Switching camera angle. And now, get ready for time. Time. Alright. Oh, what is that? Why is there no time yet? This is time! I said time! Hello? Timer is still going! Invalid! Oh, there you go.
But
it's so early.
It's so early.
Yeah!
We went fast.
I mean, yeah. Whoa, I accidentally spun. Sorry.
I can spoiler you something, Lordmau5. If you take everything in consideration, this is actually a new world record.
Really?
Yeah, by nearly 2 minutes.
Nice.
Or 1 minute.
Nice. Well, there's that. If there's still some time, I can like probably throw in a save that has like everything unlocked, and we can have a look at the third run, or like third level. Do you want that? I think wasn't that the Siemens one? Was that in? I think that was in Climax. If you really want to stay on schedule, don't want to go early, just do it. Okay, sure. I think we should catch up on our schedule. Fortnite heck. Oh yeah, true. If you want to do that, then sure, do that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, we were like in the middle of the SpongeBob one. So yeah. New world record, cool, I guess, something like that. But yeah, this was Densha Daily Climax stage. Enjoy the black screen, I guess. And well, yeah, in this case, I won't hold you off any longer. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. Donate for Save the Children and that stuff, you know. And yeah, this was that game that I mentioned like 3 times already. Enjoy the SpongeBob run coming up. And bye.
All right. Up next we have Jaxler1 playing SpongeBob's Truth or Square. I'll go ahead and make sure that run is set up, and then I think we'll get started. Stay tuned.